This is Scott Spears, and today we remember one of the most unique First Ladies, if not the most unique, Betty Ford, who has passed away at age 93. Joining us to remember her is one of my all-time favorite comedians, one of the greatest of all time, the last of a dying breed, Marty Allen. Marty, how are you doing?
Oh my God, thank you.
Well,
what an introduction.
Well, you are something else. I've seen you in action, and there's nothing like Marty Allen.
Well, thank you.
Marty, kind of a sad occasion, the loss of Betty Ford, and when...
Yeah, well, I can tell you, it was in 1976, Ernie Borgnine and his wife Tova and I were invited to the White House. They were having dinner for President Tolbert of Liberia, and after the dinner, we were in the ballroom, and she said to me, "I hear you're quite a dancer." And I says, "I'm quite a dancer. You're quite a dancer," because I remembered that she was a member of the Martha Graham auxiliary group, and I said, "Well, why don't we give it a whirl?" She says, "Okay." And I went to the orchestra leader, you know, the big orchestra in the ballroom, and I said, "Could you possibly play something that like an up-tempo kind of number?" And he said, "Yeah." He says, "I think we have it." I said, "Well, what'll it be?" It was Carole King's "I Feel the Earth Move." And all the other dancers parted and made room for Mrs. Ford and myself. And for about 10 to 12, well, between 10 and 15 minutes, we had them cheering and hollering and applauding because we did a wild dance number together. And it was really something, and everybody, and he was, President Ford came, he was watching, and he says, "Great," he kept yelling, "Great, great," and that was it. And I think she was lovely. She was so classy and lovely, and to me, Betty Ford was a great First Lady. First of all, aside from her dancing, she was a champion for women's rights, and she talked openly about breast cancer and the addiction, and she made being a First Lady very important. And I think of her along with Eleanor Roosevelt, Hillary Clinton, and Jackie Kennedy. They all contributed something very important to the term in the White House.
You know, that's absolutely true, Marty. And when Betty passed away, one of the first pictures they showed was that picture of you and Mrs. Ford.
Yeah, dancing.
Oh, and it's a great
It's a great picture, isn't it?
Oh, do you have that picture at your home?
I had my old hair. It was before I did the thing with Barbara Stanwyck, the Big Valley thing where they cut my hair. But anyhow, she was unbelievable, and if you could see up close on the photo, everybody was astounded by the way we were dancing, and it was really something. She could move, boy. She could move.
Still had, and she was at that time probably in her 60s.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ask her age.
Marty, what do you think her legacy is going to be?
Well, just what I said. She was a champion, a real champion for women's rights. Just what I said to you. You know, she made being a First Lady very important, and she came across very well. And listen, what she did with the Betty Ford, you know, the hospital, the Betty
Ford Center.
Yeah. I think what she did with the Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage. It became, well, they've treated, I think, over 100,000 people have received treatment there, and it's probably the #1 place to go when you have some kind of a problem. And you know, and she was that kind of a woman. Hello, I'm Betty Ford, and then she would talk to you, and it wasn't like you were in awe. You were only in awe by her wonderful spirit, her personality, and her complete feminine loveliness.
Marty, when Jerry Ford passed away in 2006, that was really the last time we, the public, saw Betty. Did you have any contact with or hear anything about her in the last few years?
No. All I knew was the good work she was doing, and that's all. After the White House, after I went, you know, I went on to my very highly of her and held her with the greatest admiration. That's it.
Yeah, 93 is not young. That's a good long life.
Oh yeah.
When you hear of somebody passing away at 93, is it a shock? What's the feeling?
I don't know. I'm 89, and I want to reach 100 so I can see Donnie and Marie's last show.
Now, see, that's Marty.
I told somebody that.
Oh,
they went crazy when they heard that.
That's beautiful. Well, you
know, because of our act now, they compare Karen and I to George Burns and Gracie Allen. Only I'm Gracie Allen. And the other thing is, George Burns, I think he lived to be almost 100.
100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're always kidding me. You're gonna live to be 100? And I said, yeah. I want to live to be 100 so I can see Donnie and Marie Osmond's last show.
I love it. Marty, one final word here on Betty Ford. How would you describe her relationship with her husband, Jerry? They were very close.
Well, I think it was a very good relationship, and I think that they're being together. They looked at each other with a great deal of affection, and I don't know what it would be into the intimate part of their lives, but I think they were a very loving couple.
Well, yeah.
I know he was very proud of her, and he was proud of what she was accomplishing, and the fact that she spoke out for women's rights. I think he was very. If you're a husband and your wife does things like that, you're very proud of her. Not just being your wife, but the fact that she was intelligent and feminine and everything that a wife could be. I think that more or less sums up what my feelings and what I thought about her.
Well, Marty, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and come back in the future.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Marty Allen remembering former First Lady Betty Ford on her passing at age 93. Scott Spears headed for the dugout.